Good morning, everyone. I'm Larry Moore. President Bush has just arrived in Kansas City. He'll be visiting both the GM Fairfax plant in Kansas City, Kansas, and the Ford plant in Claycomo to talk about his plan for reducing America's overall gas consumption. KMBC 9's Jerry Gage is live at the Wheeler Downtown Airport, where Air Force One is just landing. Jerry?
Well, Larry, yeah, you might have saw there live. The plane just landed literally seconds ago. Air Force One coming in here, and this is beginning to become a bit of a familiar sight out here at the downtown airport. This is the second time in less than 2 months that the president has flown in here for an appearance here in the metro. Back on January 25th, of course, he was here to talk about health care initiatives. He went out to St. Luke's East and Lee Summit today. A different issue that he's going to be talking about, and that is fuel consumption here in America. You may recall that back in his State of the Union address, he talked about trying to reduce Americans' gas consumption by 20% in the next 10 years. And that is what he's going to be focusing on today. You're looking right now at a group of folks that are going to be greeting the president as he gets off the plane here, as we wait as the Air Force One begins to taxi across the tarmac here. Quite a few people are going to be greeting him. We got some Republican Party officials, some business folks as well. We also have the owner of Chapel's Bar and Grill, a famous sports bar up in North Kansas City, one of the people here. And as well, we want to mention, we'll talk about this more a little bit later on, but you may remember last time the president gave a Presidential Volunteer Service Award to someone here in the metro. He's going to do the exact same thing here today, right out here at the downtown airport. An Overland Park man will be honored with that award today, much as the same as we saw back on January 25th when a woman was given that as well here from the metro for her volunteer service. So there you go. You're looking at the Air Force One as it taxis across the runway here at the airport. Here's a little idea of what we're going to be talking about as far as a schedule today. He's going to be visiting both of the major auto manufacturing plants here in the metro. First, he's going to be going straight from here over to the Fairfax plant in Kansas City, Kansas. And then after touring the plant there, he's going to be heading then back over to the Missouri side and be going to the Ford plant in Claycomo, touring both those plants, and then he will be giving a speech at 1:30. At least that's the scheduled time. And by the way, we should mention that he did land early here. In fact, he landed about 20 minutes ahead of what we thought was going to be his schedule. Originally, we were told he was going to be landing about 10 minutes before noon here, and instead, he has landed obviously around 11:30. So far, the president actually ahead of schedule here this morning. I want to mention something right now, if I could, to the control room. I'm getting mixed minus. So if you guys are trying to talk to me, I've actually pulled out my IFB. I just want to let you know that. So if you've been trying to tell me something, that's why I haven't responded. Okay, to go back to our coverage now. 1:30, the president will be giving a speech about his energy initiatives, and as I mentioned before, he will specifically be talking about fuel consumption, and he will be speaking a little bit about gas economy and gas mileage standards, which has gotten a bit of a cool reception from the auto industry. They feel that if the auto emissions standards, I should say fuel economy standards, are too strict, that could affect them and could hurt what is already a struggling industry. Why did he pick Kansas City? Well, it appears that one of the major reasons that he is here to visit auto plants as opposed to any place across the country is both the Fairfax plant, the GM Fairfax plant, and the Ford Claycomo plant both produce hybrid vehicles. At the GM plant, they're actually producing the Saturn Aura hybrid. At the Ford plant, the Escape Mariner hybrid, and that is one of the main reasons that he has picked this location, so he can talk about the gas electric hybrids that are produced. We're now seeing Air Force One up close here as it taxis across the tarmac and is about to come to a stop. And you can imagine, I'm sure you can hear as well, I'm holding my ear shut because it is extremely, extremely loud. An enormous airplane, and we talked about this last time back on January 25th when the plane came in here. This is the Oval Office in the sky. 4,000 square feet inside of Air Force One, and truly the president can do just about anything he needs to do aboard this aircraft as he travels around the country. And we see here now Air Force One coming to a stop, and the engines begin to shut down. Now again, we're going to be waiting here as he begins to get off the airplane. He will be greeted by a group of folks here from the metro, business people, Republican Party leaders, and then we will also see an award given to an Overland Park man here for his volunteer service. So we will be waiting for that as well. And again, this is something the president, as far as the volunteer award goes, he has given this award all across the country. We've seen it before here in Kansas City, as I mentioned, some 575 times all around the country. He has presented a volunteer award, so he's going to be doing that right here at the airport. Before he even heads out for what is the main part of his day, which is the visit to the auto plants, and of course talking about his energy initiatives. Right now, again, you're looking at the group of folks who are going to be greeting him as he gets off. We're also waiting for the truck that kind of carries that famous ladder, so to speak, the stairway that you'll always see the president getting off of Air Force One aboard. So we'll be seeing that truck pull up to Air Force One here shortly. There it goes. And then, of course, the President of the United States, George W. Bush, will soon be exiting Air Force One. And again, as we mentioned before, he's actually a little bit early here to the Metro. We'll see how that affects his schedule. He is scheduled to start his tour at the Fairfax plant, the GM Fairfax plant in Kansas City, Kansas, right after noontime. And you see the door opening there now to Air Force One. And then he's scheduled to get over to the Ford Claycomo plant right after 1 o'clock. So we'll see if his entire schedule is early or he just takes perhaps a little bit more time here at the airport. We know that last time he was pretty quick here at the airport, did his ceremony, so to speak, where he presented the award to the volunteer award here to a Metro woman. But he was pretty quick. He headed into the motorcade pretty quickly, and actually we're starting to see the motorcade pull up here now, preparing for the president to get off the airplane. We'll see if he takes a little bit more time, because he might have a little more time today. We know also when he left last time, he definitely was in a hurry. There was a large group of people, including some school children, who were hoping to maybe shake hands with the president at the end of his trip before he got back onto the plane. He did not do that. He went right onto the plane. Today, though, we'll see if his entire schedule runs early or if maybe he just takes some more time here. So we're waiting any moment now. The President of the United States, George W. Bush, will be getting off Air Force One for his second visit here to Kansas City in the metro area just in the last 7 weeks. He was here on January 25th and now here again today. This time, though, last time it was to talk about healthcare initiatives, a healthcare roundtable out of St. Luke's East. This time, he's going to be focusing on energy initiatives as he goes and visits the two major automakers here in the Kansas City area. This is much the scene that we saw last time here at the airport, and there is the president. He has just stepped off the plane and is coming down the stairs here at the Wheeler Downtown Airport. He begins to greet some of the folks that are out here to greet him today, all local people, business people, Republican Party leaders. And this is a scene that is repeated all across the country. Behind him there appears to be Karl Rove, which of course is the president's political advisor and a figure that gets a lot of news coverage. So we see Karl Rove there with the president and his trip here to Kansas City and in the metro today, getting off the airplane right after the president. Now, after the president greets some of these folks here, we expect, if it happens like it did last time he was here, he will have an awards ceremony and present this volunteer award, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when that gets underway. But a very special event. In fact, I had a chance to meet with the person who's going to receive it. His name is Rob Mullen Jr. I spoke with him just a couple of minutes ago, and he said he was so excited about his opportunity. And actually, if we can, I'm not sure what you guys are looking at right now, but Rob Mullen Jr. is standing over to the right-hand side waiting for the president. So as soon as the president goes over to him, he will be there to accept his award, and he said he's very proud. Obviously a very proud moment. His wife is here as well, his two children, to see this entire event today. Really a great moment for him. Again, as we speak right now, the president is greeting the folks that are meeting him out here at the airport today. 2 times now already this year, and we're only in March, that the president has visited Kansas City. And Larry, I have to apologize to you. I don't have any what we call IFB. I don't have any way to hear you. So if I am rambling on, I apologize, but I just don't have any way to hear you. All right, this is the president now greeting Rob Mullen Jr., and he is being presented right now with the President's Volunteer Service Award. Now, Rob is a 4-year brain cancer survivor. He's also a volunteer and a board member with a group called Be Headstrong. Now, the group provides support and funding to families dealing with brain cancer. And Rob said that when he first got the call from the White House at his home, he thought it was a joke. He really didn't think it was anything serious. He quickly realized it was, and you see him there talking with the president, and he told me just a couple of minutes ago, before the president landed, how excited he was and how proud he was. And I mentioned earlier that his two young children, and his wife are out here. His wife, Gail, is here, and she is taking pictures as we speak of what is a very special day for Rob Mullen. He is from Overland Park, Kansas, and you see the president here talking with him, taking the time to have a discussion, and after they handed him the award there. Now, we should mention here, Rob, instrumental, we're told, in establishing a hotline to provide counseling and support for brain cancer patients, caregivers, and family members. And there is the president now waving. He's about to get into the motorcade that will take him right now over to the other side of the state line. He's going to be going from here to the GM Fairfax plant in Kansas City, Kansas. His motorcade will head out. So a pretty quick visit here, about the same amount of time, I would say, as we saw 7 weeks ago, where he greeted some folks and then presented the volunteer award. And now we're going to watch the motorcade as it leaves the airport and heads over to Kansas City, Kansas. So, Larry, right now I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Jerry Gase. Jerry Gase reporting on the president's arrival in Kansas City. As Jerry mentioned, the president is headed right now to the GM plant in Kansas City, Kansas, the Fairfax plant there, and then to the Ford plant in Claycomo to talk about his plan for reducing America's overall gas consumption. For continuing live coverage of the president's visit, log on to the kansascitychannel.com, and we now go back to regularly scheduled programming on Channel 9.